Mr. Garnacho is here. We have waited for so long. I have made a lot of videos continuing. Even some people have lost career by just reporting on Garnacho. Fabrizio was reporting on Garnacho every 3 days, after every 2 days, after every 3 days, just saying things have progressed, things have progressed, things have progressed. And people even started insulting him. People started saying, you know what? You're just carrying us a fool. You are just using us for impressions and making us comment on your thing. But finally, it has happened. Now, what I feel about this transfer first, as I said, it looked like, I don't know, are we broke? Because we have only bought him after we sold Nkunku. Like the money we got from AC Milan, they didn't even reach our account. It was just, you know what, AC Milan, send the 36 to Man United, and then we'll get some few for M from our account to them. I think right now, if you go into our account, we probably don't have something. Probably don't have anything. We might be sucking the staff and the food. That's what Man United did last season. They sacked the bus driver, they sacked the groundsman, they sacked the people who are cooking, they sacked the nutritionist, they sacked the gym bros. Like, you are going into where do they train? What do they call whatever they train? I don't know. They launched it, they renovated it this year. But I think last year you were going there and it was a ghost town. You are supposed to prep your meal yourself because the club did not have enough money to pay nutritionist. And I think we are at that point because how we have done this transfer, it was like we can only pay you after after we get the money, after somebody buys somebody. And I think even that's what is still preventing Xavi Simmons from us confirming that Xavi Simmons should be here. It's like we are still waiting until somebody buys another person. Now, we are supposed to sell George probably. Then who's the other one? Disasi. And probably another person. I don't know who we'll have to sell. But there is also Sterling, there's also Chilwell, who I think, if you are not careful, they'll just be in the reserve team or we'll have to give them on loan. And especially now, it's very difficult because I think those people have only two years still remaining in their contract. So if you give them on loan, it will mean that you'll also have to give them on loan in their last year, unless you just want them to go for free. Just, cancel their contract and tell them, you know what, if you get somebody to pay your salary, you can go. But that is the thing. We have bought Garnacho for 40 million, which is a good price. It's a good price, 21-year-old. A lot of guys are paying. Even you have seen today, Newcastle just spending 80 on Wolves. What's his name? Wolves bad. Wolves somebody. A Bundesliga striker. He plays nearly the similar to Isaac. Like if you see him, it's just another blonde white Isaac, but he has the same build. He's not too huge. He's just lanky and can dribble people, and can do the feints and can body people. He just plays similar, nearly similar. But Newcastle have spent 80 million euros on him, which means while we still think that the market is being corrected, because Chelsea have tried so much to correct the market. We have tried not to pay people money that they don't deserve. We have tried to like really correct the market. But some teams, especially the northern teams, Liverpool, Newcastle, they're just still trying to, destroy the market. Like I think they have this huge, they have missed. They wanted to spend as much as we used to spend in the past. And now they're just thinking like, what is happening? Why is Real Madrid not paying for 100 million for people? Why is Chelsea not paying 100 million for people? Why is it then when we get the money and we want to come into the market, like we want to prove to people that if you have the money, you get the players. A lot of people have been saying, if you have the money, you get the players. But this transfer season has proved that you don't necessarily need to have the money to get the players, because some people have the money, but they have not been able to get the players. Some people wanted Garnacho, even probably spending more. I'm so sure Spurs would spend more on Xavi Simmons if Xavi Simmons would want to go there. But then he just wants Chelsea. The same way with Garnacho, he just wanted to come to Chelsea. Now, if Xavi Simon does not work out, it's not because he preferred Spurs. It's just because probably we wanted as much as possible to correct the market. We wanted as much as possible to not spend over what we shouldn't. Now, this is what I feel about Garnacho. I've said it, we have sold a lot of people, and right now we don't have a left winger. The people who are playing in the left wing, aside from George, are usually right wingers, both Neto, even if you have Estevao, even if you have, like, we don't have a natural left winger. And I think Garnacho, if we don't sign anybody else, is coming straight into our first 11. I think Garnacho, if you compare him to George, is better than George. And if you're going to sell George, then nobody will be there. Now, the thing is, it just complicates how I thought we would be lining up, because for me, I thought probably the way we played against West Ham will be the same way we'll be playing in the coming games. Like, we'll have, you know, Pedro playing as a 10 most of the games. But if you have Garnacho and Garnacho plays, I'm so sure Neto has to play or will play, or like in the most important game Neto has or will always play, and it's because of his defensive contribution and his attacking contribution, and his direct, and he can put the output. Now Esteva will most likely be just be coming out as a sub, sporadic, rotational, or in those trophies that we need to win. As I've said, we need to get the treble, and if we need to get the treble, we must have a solid second team that knows. In the past, like last season, I think we had the team that was second, like we had a first team and second team. The second team started so well, and we thought that because how they had started, they would just go on and win the League Cup and probably even compete for FA. But then they were defeated in League Cup in the most absurd way, and I lost a lot of confidence in them. The likes of Nkunku, and that's why even last season they were not getting a lot of minutes. It's just because you needed those games. You needed those games to get the minutes. You needed those games. You needed the FA. You needed the League Cup to get the minutes. Now they were all depending on Conference League, which happened. We won, but that is it. But now, for now, I think even if we have Estevao as a second, I think they will be making a second team that will most likely compete for League Cup, compete for FA, and even be good rotations for Champions League or such games like Karabakh, Pafos. We don't need to have Palma. We don't need to have like all the big dogs playing against Pafos, unless we are in a very, very, very bad situation, unless we don't win against Barcelona, unless we don't win against Bayern, unless we don't win against Napoli and the rest, then we'll have to get the points from Pafos. But on normal occasion, we should be having all these guys. And that's what I think. I think Palma will still go back to that 10 in most of the games, and Delap will still be. And even right now, I think because Newcastle, which I thought would be the team that will be going for Nicholas Jackson, just because they have gotten their man, I don't think they're going for Nicholas Jackson. Man United is not going for Nicholas Jackson. I don't know if Nicholas Jackson wants to go away from Premier League. I don't think any African would move from Premier League unless it is very, very, unless they just can't play, unless it just proves, unless the coach just tells them, you are not going to play. But if there's any chance that an African can play in a game, I'm so sure they'll want to play in Premier League. All those guys, even Lookman, even all those guys, I don't know. I've forgotten. Have I forgotten anything that I needed to cover today? I don't think so. Anyway, if you are here still, as I've asked, always subscribe. Take us to 1,000 subscribers and we will appreciate. Yes, Champions League is coming to Stamford.